One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig is a YA fiction fantasy novel published in 2022, and I am mad at this book. Let me tell you why. Hi, I'm Amanda, and this is Spineless Books, your one-stop shop for all things audiobook. One Dark Window kept appearing on YouTube reviews, and I saw it all over the place. Now, when I say saw it, I literally mean I saw it. Most of the time when YouTubers review books, I just skim. I don't like to know anything. I like to be completely surprised and completely in the dark going in. I don't even read the summary. If it pops up a lot, I'll put it on my list. Now, usually that works out okay. Sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it's a pretty good system. This one just kept popping up. I saw it all over the place, partly because of its very recognizable cover, so I decided to jump in. I know it's going to be fairy tale-esque, I know it's going to be lame-ish, possibly, but I don't have any hopes for this book. I'm just trying to see what it's about, and I know a lot of people have really liked it. So when I jump in, I was a little bit surprised to see that there were some pretty good plot points. I was very interested in the magic system. It was a unique system that I really hadn't run into before. Effectively, magic can be used by anyone, but there are a whole series of cards that are necessary to run the magic. So you and I can do it if we're in possession of the cards. There's also a fever that's going around the kingdom. Now, most people don't survive the fever, and if you do, you are not left unscathed. So enter our main character, Elspeth. Elspeth is a fever survivor, a very rare one, but there are repercussions to her survival. In fact, she basically has an evil presence living in her head. The audiobook is narrated by Lisa Corteleone. Now, she's narrated a lot of books, but if I'm going to be really truthful, I've not heard of any of them other than this one and its sequel. So she had a couple of voices that she did for various characters that truthfully I thought were a little corny, but they did grow on me over the course of the book. So way to stick to your guns, Lisa. So why am I mad at this book? It's because the first half was completely boring. Totally uninteresting, did not care at all, really didn't like the characters, and then all of a sudden the book just completely made a left turn, and I cared. And I cared enough that when I got to the end of it, I immediately put the second book on hold. Rude, Rachel Gillig. That was really rude. You tricked me. I thought this book was going to be terrible, and I was wondering what everyone was making a big fuss about, and then all of a sudden I was making a big fuss. That was not cool. So I admit there were major plot holes in this story. There were moments where I was like, wait a minute. I don't understand why Elspeth isn't doing this in this situation, or how did we get from she's here to all the way over there? But you know what? That's one of the problems with listening to a YA book when you have an adult brain. You think about these things. Not to say that young people don't also have deep thoughts, but at the same time, I think you just kind of accept and skip over plot holes, but there were a lot of really big ones in this book. The magic system turned out to have some excellent applications, things I didn't foresee even though I understood the process with the magic system very early on, so that was kind of cool and unexpected. There were also characters that really didn't develop, they just sort of manifested into a really big role, but I can forgive it. I ended up rating it a 4 out of 5, which is pretty impressive given that there was a point that I almost put it down, a point quite far into the book that I almost put it down. But the truth is, I'm really looking forward to Two Twisted Crowns. I want to know what happens. It left me on the edge of my seat. Even though there was a point where I was falling out of my seat with boredom, eventually it got somewhere really good. So I'm glad that I stuck with it. Sometimes public opinion can sway you the wrong way, and in this case it was really inspirational and making me continue all the way to the end. And now I'm waiting for the next book. So congrats, Rachel Gillig, you pulled a fast one on me, and now I'm invested. It's almost like when you walk past the television and the cheesy romance is on the Hallmark Channel, and the next thing you know, you're curled up under a blanket with popcorn watching the third movie in the series. Yeah, it's like that. This book blindsided me. I really didn't expect it to get good. It wasn't in the beginning. Maybe we need to work on how we start our series, but at the same time, it got to a very cool place. And I, like I said, cannot wait for the sequel. I have it on hold right now, and as soon as it comes in from the library, I'll be cracking that baby open. What about you? Have you read it? Have you read the second book? Are you in for book 2 if you haven't read it? Let me know in the comments while you're busy liking and subscribing. But remember, you might love what I hate and hate what I love, so make your own opinion. But thanks for listening to mine. I'll see you next time.